Oh, hey Internet, what is up? Welcome back to the Type UQ channel. Welcome back to AM2R. Picking up our save file back here. I think in the last episode we did some exploration around the map to other areas. And yeah, just kind of backtracked our steps a bit. However, we kind of made an error last time. We kind of suspected, or we kind of guessed and suspected that we weren't going to be able to reach a certain area and we had to come back with a new ability. Not the case. Luckily, a community member kind of pointed out how ridiculous and stupid we are. So I think we're going to go back and fix that real quick. As soon as we remember which direction we have to go, that's the hard part. And it's kind of actually like where we kind of just were, which is a shame because we only have one more Metroid left, and yeah, don't really have the extra leg room in this game to kind of oversee things like that, or we end up wasting like just a ton of time. So luckily, it was brought to our attention rather quickly. But the unfortunate task of having to, you know, get back over there, you know? Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of just a few rooms away. Just gotta have to make it through this sort of dark area like we just did. And that's kind of the ability we kind of forgot we even had for a second, is the ability to kind of climb walls and kind of invert ourselves while in ball form. That's kind of a real easy place to lose your like sense of direction and bearing here. But they are kind of teaching you to use your spider ball quite a lot here, which is kind of surprising why, we didn't even experiment it just even further past this area. It's kind of, this has been a whole spider ball, whole area dedicated to it. Annoying thorns everywhere, including down here as well. Yeah, so this was the area that we kind of messed up before, because as you can tell, once you lay pressure down, the blocks break. So it's really a matter of just getting through the puzzle like so. That's it. That was the big brain freeze or nonsense from last time. And then we are discovering essentially the way back up out of this out of that maze, essentially, using the sort of space jump. Not much of a secret besides that. Unfortunately, you know, it'd been nice to pick up an E-tank, but it didn't necessarily come up on the radar either. I mean, what did come up was the that yellow shell of a Metroid, so we can look forward to fighting one somewhere close by. And there's that son of a bitch there, down in this pit of hell. Luckily, we do have kind of like, if you believe it, a sort of vantage point being underneath him. You know, we really can take advantage of just kind of firing upwards and him having to kind of come down and fight us. You know, he's still dealing some good damage, but we certainly don't have to bring our A game to pummel him with missiles on the underneath of his body. And there he goes. Alright, getting a little too rambunctious with the missiles now, just blowing up. And there we go with some rumbling there, so it's like previous times, you know, when you kill, you know, that set collection of Metroids, you know, lava sinks down further into the planet, so now we can see some of these areas that we saw, like that dark blue area back there. Something should have dropped down so we can kind of go in further, which kind of makes me feel like, what is going on with this planet, with this sort of sinking magma? You know, it really makes me feel that like the final part of this game is trying to evacuate before this thing just like self-destructs. It wouldn't be the first time Metroid has done something like that, but I think it's really playing its hand here, where essentially the game is just telling you to keep going deeper and deeper, you know. So yeah, essentially we pretty much trace our steps back to that save point to where we started the video, and then just head left, and that should be it. The awkward task of getting through. There we go. Alright, so now we are back to our save point, pretty much the origin of this video here. And now someplace around here we should be able to delve in deeper. I mean, granted, now it kind of feels like we should be getting the lava suit, considering, you know, some of the lava is being a little persistent. And of course, there's a special, like, hidden object in this last room that we are just not figuring out. Also noticing that there is some areas on the left of our position now that we can investigate as well. So this is not the only place that has lava. Christ almighty. Alright, so yes, this one has kind of sunk down. So found the area, but you know, kind of in a weird way now. There's kind of like two areas of opening paths that we need to, you know, keep track of. And it looks like that one just kind of sunk down just this little bit, but it looks like we can kind of trek over the surface of it. Funny enough, when we actually like fall into some lava, we'll be able to see just like how little the lava does for damage. Surprisingly, you know, you would think it would just start shredding our hit points, but it's really not the case. So come across a weird room here. The scientists constructed a small mobile research site with a cave system. The access tunnel leading over the research vessel. Well, fuck me then, huh? So yeah, just a little log about the sort of coming across this sort of digging construction site. The super missile tank certainly useful, but yeah, some strange doors and just kind of the two Metroids hanging out here. So we can probably guesstimate to who caused this all this shit to go wrong. This is the first time we're actually facing two of these guys at the same time. Certainly not the strongest forms, but you know, maybe they work better as a combo. Need to get some distance on them, that's for sure. That's some good damage there. I mean, it certainly doesn't help that they just like explode into health, you know, like health pickups. All right, and with those two dead, the lava drops down a little bit more. So maybe it's the other site that we went to. It's hard to say, but we do obviously have this sort of blocked path going up. The map does actually indicate that eventually we go up there as well, but not at this time, maybe. Okay, so the lava's still here. And we almost have like a kind of a screw attack like thing if we are charging with our space jump. Pretty handy, I'd say. And the lava's still there, so it's really a maybe the first one we came across. A little back and forth, I think. And finally, we were able to discover the goddamn missile tank that's just kind of hiding there. And those are kind of the trickier ones to get because they don't necessarily have a wall to blast, so they're not going to necessarily reveal themselves as, you know, a weak point or something that you can unlock with a certain weapon. You know, it's just a fake wall that you have to jump through essentially. Which, you know, if you were sitting in you know, Samus's, you know, helmet, you could see perfectly fine. But yeah, because it's the angle of which it is, you know, it's blind to us. Alright, so blasting those green crystals, we've now getting into a sort of dark cavern here. Cordite crystals are one of the most durable, naturally forming crystals in the galaxy. Though they are not as hard as diamonds, this makes them more of a malleable resource. The Chozo found various practical uses for the cordite in constructing machinery or producing works of art. This mining facility supplies cordite and other minerals. And fuck me, I guess. A little bizarre that this construction site that looks like it was just recently kind of demolished, it was just under lava? Question mark. What's the idea with this lava and then also uncovering recent events. You know, kind of like the looks like some sort of digging machine, I'd suppose. Yeah, like draining the lava and then finding this like construction site full of dead soldiers or construction crew. Man, this is getting deep, quite deep down here. There we go. Pretty obvious what to do there. And strange how like an orb kind of activates this machine. You know, hopefully the crew had something of that sort at their disposal, I guess, because Samus in her ball form kind of fits that just perfectly. And strange that the mining machine can't break what they're mining. You know, that's a little bizarre. Kind of makes me wonder how they are actually mining these crystals if they can't actually mine them. But able to blow it all away by with one of those super missiles. Alright, that's revealing on the map that you can actually go up through the ceiling here. Yeah, it's just one of those fake blockades again. There we go. Get ourselves a full heal. Alright, so here we go. We have two Metroids, and essentially they're just playing their hand right here, saying they're on both sides of this room. So in real quick succession. Kind of unlocking a lot of stuff. Alright, so here we are accidentally falling into the lava, but you can see how it's really not doing any damage. The worst part of it is just how slow we move and how little we can jump. But yeah, we could have sat in there for like maybe 30 minutes and been perfectly fine. And these enemies are rather weird as well. Do no damage to you. They just kind of keep you floating in midair. It's bizarre. Again, kind of cheesing him here, picking at like a lower vantage point and then firing the missiles up at him, up into him rather. Yeah, and nearly healed the max because of it. All right, that's that of this area. And we might as well fill in this map while this lava does virtually no damage. But we are gonna quickly save just in case something catastrophic happens and we don't want to fight that other Metroid again. Really no harm in that, I think. Here we are crossing some more larva. Oh, Hopefully that's it, just like another one of these little tiny guys down in this sort of, this little pit. Should be able to dispatch of him pretty easily, and probably even healed up the damage he's dealing us during this fight. Alright, there he goes. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, both Metroids are dead. Lava draining, there it is. So it's not this area. Who knows? Like maybe it's, yeah. That's the thing, is like there's so many openings now with lava. You can't really tell where your next point is, especially where this point was kind of you know, only home of those couple Metroids. So now we're gonna pretty much, yeah, leave this area and never come back, I guess. Really no need for it. Looks like there are some areas that we could explore higher above, but my god, what a trek. My god. My god. Save our game, just in case we have no desire to come back down here ever again. There's probably no need to. And that's much easier. Taking care of those enemies that way instead of worrying about their shielded faces and whatnot. Oh, as we fucked that up. Man, there it is. We are out. But then again, like, I don't know. There's not much to, no reason to really go back there. So yes, there's that place on the left in that dark blue. You can certainly check that out. Alright, so it looks like the lava dropped down here, so... Oh, a new enemy with invulnerable blue claws, I guess. Alright, fuck him then. Alright, a good area to kind of set up our base of operations. However, we haven't necessarily scanned this area to see if how many more Metroids we need to kill, but I'm sure that will be coming up pretty soon. And actually, you can see here we actually are dealing damage to it. You just have to hit its sort of fleshy body instead of its big blue claws. There we are. Hit some red bedrock, I guess. So, so I think more than the other areas we visited now, this is kind of like a new area, new area, you know. And certainly, like looking pretty grim down here. Some sort of special hanging out here, some sort of hidden, unlockable item. Not necessarily revealing itself, but there it is. So using our speed boost, can get that, but some new enemies, some sort of like floating raven or crow heads, some real bizarre. Certainly a throwback to the old, to probably an older game design, I think. So 6 Metroids in this area. So this is certainly probably going to be an area we're going to be doing some work in, I think. Another enormous cavern. And of course we do our best to immediately find out just how big we're talking about. Looks like that's going to be a home of one of them, but we're going to continue on and just sort of figure out exactly what we're dealing with. Oh, found another one. Unless the yellow carcass was kind of signifying this one. We've been pretty fortunate lately to have sort of the underneath position of some Metroids. So we can get under there and just do some serious damage. Although that one kind of kicked our ass quite a lot. It looks like that's a weak point where you can kind of get up there, but I mean, there's no real indication on the map that you can, so just a strange sort of sore thumb out of that ceiling, I guess. Weird toenail spikes just hanging around. Alright, so now we have a big nasty to deal with. And probably one of the I would say probably like bosses that we've seen in a while. So certainly we need to be dealing some decent damage to that green underbelly, but kind of preserve our own at the same time, because he's doing a considerable amount of damage. Yeah, he's certainly really becoming one of those that you don't really want to, play chicken with or just sort of Russian roulette with. We need to actually employ a different strategy, a better strategy if we want to beat this guy, because just sort of relying on the number of health cubes we have and bombs we have, just our missiles rather, isn't really cutting the cake. In fact, we should probably just go. Now that we're like sitting on 78 hit points, it would probably be in our best interest to not die. But so we're going to do the coward's way and see if we can kind of limp back to the save point, so we can kind of regroup and come up with a better strategy than whatever that was. Luckily, these sort of bird heads can kind of heal us right now. And even using the charge function kind of suck in other items that are a bit farther away. So we can take a moment just to kind of farm a little bit, just so we know we're not going to die if we get, you know, beat up along the way back to the save point. Yeah, and that should be fine, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it isn't fine. Kind of tricky to get up there. Gotta make sure you get those jumps in just the right time. Yeah. And there we are, safe as sound. The coward's way. But that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more Metroid in the future.